And welcome back. My first guest is Keith Albert, the Executive Director of Habitat for Humanity. Welcome, Keith.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Happy to have you. You know, Habitat for Humanity is a great organization. People know it nationally, but what people may not realize is that there's a Habitat for Humanity that's local right here in Rockland County. You've been involved with it. You're the Executive Director, and you've been involved for a number of years. And in fact, Habitat for Humanity has done some work with the town with a couple of different historic properties that we own, that there were some volunteers, and I know you were part of that as well.
Yeah.
So Keith, maybe before we get to Habitat for Humanity, just would like to give our residents or viewers the opportunity to learn a little bit about you as the Executive Director of Habitat. You know, a little bit about your background, your family, how long you know, where you live, and how you got involved.
Well, I'm kind of a newcomer to Rockland County by your standards. I only moved here in 1986. I was working in New York City. I had my own business. It was a marketing advertising agency, and I moved it up here and semi-retired. And then I was looking for something to do, and they recruited me for the board of directors at Habitat about 4 years ago. And then when the current executive director retired, they asked me to take over the organization because of the business experience I had had. Mm-hmm. It's the best of both worlds. I enjoy the work I do, and I get to help the people of Rockland County, which is really rewarding. A lot of the volunteers we have working with us are veterans, retired carpenters, retired electricians who just want to give back to the community. Mm-hmm. So it's a win-win situation for everyone.
Right. So tell me a little bit about Habitat for Humanity in general. How long has it been around? And you know, it's all across the country. There's a Rockland component of it, though.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, the way Habitat works is each area, like Rockland County is an area, is almost like an affiliate. We have to support ourselves. We get support from international in background information and national presence, but we have to raise our own funds. We have to get our own property. So we've been doing that since the late 90s. Mm-hmm. We now have about, I think we've built 9 houses. We just finished one up in West Haverstraw. And we're looking for property to build again. Our ultimate goal is to open a Restore, which is a secondhand store, so that we can be self-supporting. Mm-hmm. But in order to do that, we have to be building 2 houses at a time. Right. So that's the direction we're going in right now. Currently, we're looking at 3 pieces of property in the county, but it's very difficult because of the cost.
And so tell me about how does somebody qualify to own one of these homes that's done by Habitat for Humanity?
There's a misconception there, I think. The families we select have to be making about $50,000 a year in order to afford the taxes of owning a home. So they have to qualify in the respect that they have to be living in conditions that are not tolerable. And we've had people living in garages and basements that we've put into houses. And these people are not unemployed. They're working hard-working people. Some first responders, veterans. They hold 2 or 3 jobs. They're supporting their families. They're members of the community. They work hard in it. So that's basically the qualification for someone to become a Habitat homeowner. They have to go through background checks, financial and criminal, and they are good members of the community. A lot of times when we put people in a house, the house usually turns out to be the best one on the block, and the members give back, the household members give back to the community.
Mm-hmm. So and very often what will take place is the individuals that ultimately are going to receive the house will also volunteer as part of the construction as well?
Yeah, that's part of the process. They have to put in so many hours, we call it sweat equity, on building the home, or if they cannot do it on that home, something else, or in the community, like we've worked on some of the projects here in the community. So they put in between 200 and 400 hours, depending on the size of the family. Now, the last family that we put into Haverstraw, they were very enthusiastic. I think they put in close to 1,000 hours on that home, building that home. You know,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
Or they can work on things like we've worked with, like the community projects that you were discussing before, or Homes for Heroes, or projects like that. We just finished up. In fact, it was yesterday. A gentleman who has worked with us has been confined to a wheelchair, and he needed a ramp. So all the guys got together and they went in there and they built the ramp in one day, so that now he has access to his rehab. He can come in and out of the house.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. So it's a wonderful model. It's a wonderful program because essentially it's folks that would never be able to, under their economic conditions, be able to get to a point where they would own a house, and so it's enabling them to advance themselves. And there's some protections as well, correct? I mean, so you know, it's not a situation where somebody can then take this house and then sell it, you know, and make a big profit. There's some things that are also written in as well. They have to own it for a period of time, and as an affordability component, correct?
Yeah. The key to our formula is say a house is going for about $250,000. That's the selling price of a house. The down payment alone, a lot of people can't make, because you're talking 10, 20%. That's a lot of money. Then they have the interest on top of that. Okay, so what we do is we give them a 0% loan. We would sell that house to them for $125,000, $150,000. Okay, and then their down payment is only $1,500. However, so that this stays within the Habitat family, what we do is we put a second mortgage on that, and it's a 30-year mortgage. Now, they never have to pay that back if they stay in the house, but if they decide to move, then they have to pay back a percentage of the difference there. So
Okay.
that's a safety factor there for
Right.
us.
Right, which guarantees that the house will maintain its value,
Correct.
and also guarantees that the individuals that are living there, that they just can't take it, sell it, and have a huge profit appreciation, and then walk away from it.
And the house maintains market value for the neighborhood.
Correct.
You know,
Correct.
because a lot of the times it turns out to be sets a standard.
Oh, no, absolutely. In fact, and it also affects municipalities as well, because a person can make a case in point that the house was acquired for a certain amount of money, and then they go from a market rate appraisal approach to say that the house isn't worth what it's worth. It drives all values down in the neighborhood if a house is going to sell for half its value.
Right. And another way we help the community is that a lot of times now we're looking at a piece of property now that has been abandoned for a while. So what we're going to do is renovate this and put it back on the tax rolls.
Right.
So we're helping out the community.
Yeah, no, absolutely. How many folks are involved in Habitat for Humanity in Rockland County in terms of the board, and then, you know, typical volunteers?
Right now on the board of directors we have 6 people. We're looking to expand. But the volunteers themselves, that comes and goes, that's fluid, but we have about 200 people of a base, and we're always looking for more. And then what we have is a lot of the businesses in Rockland County use a project like ours as a team build, and they will send their members in to have a team building exercise, and then they will make a donation, so it helps out in the building of the house.
Okay. And you involve folks in the trades, you get some volunteers that will also, or you get
Definitely.
people that will donate as well, correct?
Yeah, we have what we have is a gift in kind program, and a lot of the businesses will work with us. I know all of the plumbing was donated on the last house, the roof, the siding, so that helps us out in building the project.
Right. And so how does somebody get involved? You know?
They can go to our website, and it's hfhr.org, and there are forms there to volunteer or to apply for a house.
Right. So just repeat the website again.
hfhr.org.
Okay, hfhr.org.
Right.
And if you go to that website, you'll be able to volunteer. You'll be able to potentially donate. You'll be able to find out additional information. You're also looking for property, you said, correct?
Yeah, that is our biggest difficulty because when a piece of property comes up for sales, obviously the contractors in the county, they have a business, they're going to go in there and bid on it, and they're going to bid a lot higher than we can. A lot of the times we have to rely on, the last house we had was donated to us by a lady, which was very nice. Or getting it at a closeout for some reason, with or working with the community to see if they have
Right.
a piece of property that could help us out. You know.
And so if folks have property that maybe is undervalued, or they don't know what to do with, or they want to bring it to your attention, how would they do that? How would they contact you?
Again, I mean, I can give my number.
Sure.
It's 845-664-0267. They can contact me directly, or they can go to the website.
Just repeat that again.
845-664-0267. And they can go to the website. And what a lot of people don't realize is they can also get a tax write-off for this.
Right.
So that if they say the house is worth $200,000 and they sell it to us for a much lower rate, the difference they can use as a write-off, as a gift.
Right. Okay. Great. So, Keith, I want to thank you. We're just about out of time. I want to thank you for being a great guest. I want to thank you for your volunteer efforts with Habitat for Humanity here in Rockland County. A lot of folks probably even aren't aware that Habitat is here, but it's a great organization, a great opportunity here, and it's wonderful to hear that there's 9 homes that you guys have been able to repurpose, and that's 9 families whose stories are dramatically improved based upon your efforts, going forward. So we look forward to working with you more closely in the town of Clarkstown, whatever we can do to help, and hopefully you'll get some more information from out to the community based upon this interview. So if you could just give your contact information one more time.
Okay, so the website is hfhr.org, and my phone number is 845-664-0267.
Great.
Great.
Keith, thank you so much.
Thank you, and I appreciate you having me on.
Thanks. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.